Good job, bro. Good job. Great job. Go get it.
The guy in the green at the podium.
How's it going? Here's Carrie. I texted you a couple of times.
Yeah.
You might...
Emailed me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one of them this morning, so
Okay.
I've had
I wasn't sure if you were showing up. I'm
I've
glad
had
to
a
hear.
Dutch week, so I
Good.
just,
At least
sorry,
as long as you're
I'm
good.
doing all emails, everything, so.
No worries. Cool.
Yeah, I actually did text you, email you back this morning, but it's probably late.
Did you want to present with your computer or? You want me to use-
Actually, I just have a thumb drive for very simple slide.
Okay.
Presentation along those lines. Mine's fairly low tech, so.
Okay.
So.
Do you want to give me that so I can
Yeah.
put it on my? Yeah.
Question for you. So I was speaking with Joseph.
Yeah.
Met with him last week, stuff along those lines. And I was supposed to get with you this week, but like I said, I'm just not able to get anything on. But so what I wanted to do initially, so what I'm presenting is for a restaurant concept.
Yeah.
On those lines. So okay with you, I'd like to give out samples at the end. Almost like that. Joseph seemed to think that was a good idea. Or would like that. Wouldn't you drop him? So
Yeah.
I
You could use.
I wanted to do a whole breakfast setup this morning, but I just couldn't get that all coordinated.
Did you want a table? Access?
It doesn't need a lot. Yeah, maybe just like a part of a table or something
We
like
can
that.
use this one
You know,
here.
Something at the end of the thing, maybe I can just say, come help yourself to,
Yeah.
just to take with you sort of.
You can use this table here. This is all.
That's fine.
Cool.
Other than that, okay, let me get the phone grab.
Come on. Jamie. How are you? Good. Oh, It's up to you. I can take whatever. I said second. Yeah.
Still working.
This is a growth area.
Yeah, I still have feeling of the phone being crushed by that's cool. I'm excited for that. You start early.
How do I?
You'll just use.
Yeah, where are you like up there when you're just around Seattle or? Are you
Test. Test.
There was something about it in the instructions that said if you unplug it, they have to reset every one of these in the like building. So we'll try.
Test.
Looks like it's working.
Test. 1.
my shadow in the fading light is stretching out towards the night. Cause the sun is low, and I hear there's still so far to go. And my lonely heart is beating so. Tired of the wonder, there's a sign ahead, though I think it's the same one again. But I'm thinking about my only friend, so I'll find my way home. 'Cause when I need to get home, you're my guiding light. You're my guiding light. When I need to get home, you're my guiding light. You're my guiding light. Oh, well, the air is cold, and yonder lies my sleeping soul. By the branches pulled like bones, oh, this weekend tree no longer holds. Well, the night is still, and I have not yet lost my will. Though I will keep on moving till I find my way home. When I need to get home, you're my guiding light. You're my guiding light. When I need to get home, you're my guiding light. You're my I found a fear of mine that you might love for no reason. You know I worry, only luck brought me to you. I'm half awake most of the time, it's just the timing of the seasons. So you know I worry that you're all I have to lose. And I should change this way of thinking, that all my fears are facts of life. But I could die tomorrow, you'll be close behind. Close behind. I live my life in years to come to prepare myself for sorrow. So I won't worry when I crumble at your feet. It's something sinister to love without regard for dear tomorrow. Search for worry is to love without deceit. And I should change this way of thinking, that all my fears are facts of life. But I could die tomorrow, you'll be close behind. Close behind. And I should change this way of thinking, that all my fears are facts of life. But I could die tomorrow, you'll be close behind. So I fill my days with thinking, oh, I'm years from my true time. I die tomorrow, you'll be close behind. Close behind.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's just do one. That's fine. Okay. Good morning. How you doing? Good to see you. You ready? Yeah. All right, we're gonna start. Yeah. All right, 1, 2. We'll just use one TV. All right. Good morning. If you guys can take a seat, we're gonna get started. Let's take a seat. All on the left side. We're having technical issues with this TV on the right, so all your attention is going to be on the left today. So we can fill this row here. If you guys want to move it over. stage left. All right. Let's do this. Oh, thank you. All right. Good morning. Feedback. My name is Nick. I'll be your MC for today. So can February, March? Dang it, Pete. All right. If you didn't hear Pete, but April, May. So we're here to solve 3 different problems. Entrepreneurs need feedback on their startups. Entrepreneurs need a place to practice presenting. And last, entrepreneurs need a place to meet other entrepreneurs. And we have a solution. It's called 1 Million Cups. We meet here every Wednesday at Enterprise at 9 a.m. Free coffee on the table. Please use this coffee that's over here, not the ones over on that table there. We do 6-minute presentations followed by 20 minutes of audience constructive feedback. In terms of presenters, what we're looking for here, usually they have an idea, product, or startup, and they're looking for and will receive feedback. Ideally, they're in the teenage stage. So that means that they're not too young where they don't know what their problem is, what their who their customers are, and they're not too old where they're just here to sell an idea. And they're also here to practice their presentation skills too. Because in 1 Million Cups, we have some impact. Entrepreneurs get to be open and transparent. Entrepreneurs get feedback to improve their startups. And last, entrepreneurs build meaningful connections. This is all happening because of an awesome org team. Jonathan, Manan, myself, Josh, Courtney, Joseph, Kiefer, Philip, Pete. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Without you guys, this would not be happening. We're also looking for more organizers as well. This could be you and the people around you. We're also looking for more female organizers too. So Courtney would like some support. So if you're interested in helping out, please see one of us. We'd love to have more help. Quick shout out to our sponsors, Enterprise Co-working, we're at right now, Queen City Coffee, which is the coffee you're drinking. Our additional sponsors are Pono Media, Rocky Mountain Microfinance Institute, the Commons Champa, Denver Angels, and the Colorado Small Business Development Center. Let's give all of them a round of applause as well. I do the literal round of applause, if you noticed. So just a quick show of hands, who's new to 1 Million Cups today? 3 people, awesome. And 4, I knew it. Who considers themselves an entrepreneur? Like everyone. Should have just asked who's not. I like to just get a feel for who's in the room, looking for some volunteers, name, what you do, why you're here. Like anybody like to introduce themselves? If not, I'm just gonna pick on people. Yeah, go ahead. You can stand up if you want.
My name is Gabe Diaz. Nice to meet everyone. Just came from Fort Mill, South Carolina. Awesome moving out here the next few months. Just started with Groove Digital. My first event. So pretty excited stuff.
See? Welcome. Anybody else? Yeah, go ahead. You.
My name's Clay. I'm in the neighborhood, trying to get integrated. I'm a recruiting business. I work by myself, so I spend a lot of time alone and just trying to meet other people.
Okay. You're not alone anymore. Go ahead.
My name's Lindsay. I'm a conscious entrepreneurship coach and I work here. And I'll be running faces for
Welcome. Anybody else? Last chance. Okay. Just to let you guys know, we do have a website. It's 1millioncups.com/Denver. If you go to our website, you can see who's presenting each week. You can also follow us to get our weekly newsletter. We also have a banner on there which we update for weather announcements too. We also decided today there aren't any weather issues for a Wednesday morning. We will make a decision by 6:30 in the morning. We'll have our banner updated there. We'll also send an email on our newsletter and our meetup. If we feel earlier that it's gonna be really bad, we will try and do the day before, but no later than 6:30 on Wednesday morning. It's gonna be our final call on if we're gonna have a meeting or not. We also are using Slack to connect as a community, share community announcements. We are joining the Colorado Startups Slack workspace, and underneath that workspace, we do have our own Slack channel, hashtag 1MC community. You can scan this QR code here to get on the Slack channel as well. Later, we're going to be doing community announcements, and we ask people that do announce things to put it on that Slack channel too. Before we get into our first presenter, just want to let you guys know that they're here for your feedback. So while they're presenting, think of one thing of feedback or question you can give them, because the more dialogue we have, the better this event is too. If you have a lot of feedback or questions, please limit yourself one feedback per turn. If you have a lot to give them, maybe talk to them later about that. All right, enough about me. Let's get into our presenter, Numa. Numa supports the well-being of new moms by providing postpartum products and resources. We are an e-commerce brand selling kits and products on a Shopify site. Let's give a big round of applause to Numa and Kevin. Are you using your computer? Okay. Okay. Do you have the ability to screen share, or do I need to make you a co-host? You gotta learn. Okay, go ahead. Try again. Let's get you a microphone. No one's looking at me.
Does anybody know how to hard that presenter view? What's that?
Maybe share what screen you're sharing.
Oh, here we go. That's probably it.
So go back to Zoom and just share the.
Share the window or share the.
Yes, maybe the deck.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. There you go. Use this too.
Thanks.
Cool. All right. You got 6 minutes.
All right. Hey, everyone. Can you guys hear me? My name's Kevin. I'm co-founder of Numa. We're an e-commerce company selling postpartum products for new moms. I'll get into the story about how male founders started a postpartum company in a sec, but I want to make a quick comment on my approach here. My goal with this is to get feedback on a specific problem that we're facing, or specific problems that we're facing. The best way to do this for me is to be as open and transparent about these challenges. So this isn't going to sound like a fundraising pitch deck. So who here is a parent? Few. Okay, raise your hand if someone close to you has given birth in the last couple of years. So that covers most of the room. So you may or may not realize this, but that person went through one of the most harrowing events that anyone can go through. So I'm not just talking about the birth and raising a baby, but specifically something society ignores, which is postpartum. And that is the physical and mental recovery from childbirth. So my co-founders and I started Numa after our wives had our first kids. We saw what they went through after giving birth and looked for solutions to help them recover, and couldn't find them. We did all the things, did the usual doctor visits. We read all the parenting books. Overall, we were well prepared. But despite all that, they were blinded by postpartum. They didn't know anything about symptoms they were experiencing, and turns out this is all too common. So how can this be? Most people, I think, agree that moms should be well cared for. And if that's the case, then why is recovery so overlooked? Well, turns out postpartum isn't too fun to talk about. So we avoid it. And society gives the modern mom no indication that it's something she should prepare for. And yeah, babies are cute and they need a lot of attention, but if mom isn't well cared for, how is she supposed to care for the baby? So the key point is it's a stigmatized topic, which makes it an underappreciated problem. But that creates opportunity. So what exactly are we doing about it? While everyone else focuses on the baby, we focus on mom. We're using education, fun brand to build awareness about the problem. And more specifically, we have a Shopify site selling postpartum products. The picture on the right is an example of one of our top selling kits, which has 12 quality products, each of which addresses one or more common postpartum symptoms. We primarily market these kits as baby shower gifts. So why focus on the baby shower? Going back to the story of our wives getting blindsided by postpartum, in an ideal scenario, what happens instead? While she's pregnant, she has a baby shower. One of her friends brings a Numa kit to her baby shower. It's delivered to her door in 3 days or less, gift ready. Her friend then becomes a star of the baby shower. And then mom gets something for herself and not another unnecessary baby toy. So I'll come back to this marketing approach later on because it's kind of a question, a feedback I want from you guys. So where are we at with this? After we identified the problem, we interviewed moms, designed the products, and launched in early 2020 with no outside funding. Our goal was to validate the market. We've largely done that and achieved some traction, largely through word of mouth. We have done some marketing, and we have about 20,000 sales to date. So you might be asking yourself, if this problem is so big and overlooked, what do moms do currently, or what have they done in the past? The unfortunate answer is they generally tough it out. They use general care items they find around the house, like Tylenol, pads, and maybe bring home a few extra samples from the hospital. There are a couple of competitors that exist, the biggest being Freedom Mom, but the market is largely unaddressed. As for team, currently it's myself and my co-founder Blake. We're both doing this part-time. Between us, we have operational, supply chain, finance, data expertise. And the biggest missing piece is marketing, and of course, a mom. We do have ambitions to go full-time with this, and bring on a third partner who would be our marketing director. Ideally, it's a mom who understands marketing and is passionate about fixing postpartum. So I'd like to end with our strategic challenge and asks. So our marketing approach, who we market to and how. As I mentioned, we went with a baby shower approach for 3 reasons. We want to make it fun. We wanted to get in front of multiple people. So the giftee, the gifter, and everyone else at the baby shower. And then we wanted to get in mom's hands before the birth, so she's prepared. So there's a challenge with timing. You have to know someone who's pregnant in order to be a potential buyer in that case. And the other thing is baby showers kind of disappeared for a couple of years. So that created a big challenge for us, at least in-person baby showers. So we've also tried marketing directly to moms. So get mom to buy it for herself or add it to her baby registry. The challenge there is finding mom to be at the right time when she's not distracted by everything else that she has to prepare for. So that's kind of generally 2 marketing approaches that we've had, and we've had varying degrees of success and challenges with both. So this marketing approach is the first area of feedback I'm interested in. Number 2, I'd love to hear any ideas around distribution. As said, we're strictly e-commerce right now, but we recognize there's opportunity to explore untapped distribution channels like retail, doulas, childbirth centers, and even hospitals. Lastly, if anyone has any advice or tips on recruiting advisors and a marketing director, we're starting that process now. So in closing, just a thought and where I think we're at. I'm 100% certain this problem exists, 100% at scale. And I'm slightly less certain that we currently have the best solution in terms of product and distribution, and even less certain that we have the correct marketing approach. So those are kind of my general, like, transparent honesty of where I think we're at and what we need to get past. So that's it. Thank you guys for listening. I'm looking forward to Q&A.
All right. Round of applause. Kevin. You want to go back to your ask slide? That might just be helpful to reference. So if you have questions or feedback, we'll start over there. If you want to stand up and state your name.
My name's Jeff. So Kevin, one thing I recommend the marketing strategy, just a thought of that, is that educating people about their content about alcohol is really hard to break into that.
Yeah.
So you might want to go one layer above that. What I probably suggest, one that comes to mind would be get into the hospitals and doctors. Because those people are educating about this really happen.
Ideas on how to, because I have no idea how to sell in hospitals. It seems like such a daunting task to me. Yeah. I'm sorry, what? The what? Oh, the first time.
And every medical profession has an event that does that, this work. I mean, you can't get too special at a conference for doctors or nurses. And if you get in with doctors and you're making a product that they agree is good, having an advisor who being a doctor, but also both. So that would be something I suggest, because that takes care of a couple of steps as far as the cost of the product education, and that's also people that are trying to get people to spend it.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Cool. Go ahead. Dylan, go ahead.
Dylan, so what, like you were saying with birth centers, not only, I feel like you're targeting at the beginning, for, you know, your baby showers.
Yeah.
Postpartum lasts a lot longer than that. So also maybe addressing it, so instead of prior to baby, but like, you know, having boxes that are slightly different for afterwards, you know, 3 months, 6 months afterwards. It might add, like, just changing 1 or 2 items out, but that might also help you target a wider audience.
Sure.
Because with baby showers and prepping, last thing people remember is to buy a box sometimes.
Sure.
Half the things we didn't even know we needed, especially when the baby was early.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Eric, I think it's just awesome. Like, but as wanting to be a dad myself, the first distribution channel I'm thinking is like between you and your co-founder, you guys are both dads. So I think the first time dad market is actually right in your wheelhouse. And guys want to, you know, you want to prepare your wife ahead of time. You want to take care of things. So I think it actually, that might be an untapped channel and direction that you can dive into. And
Just targeting dads to get into their lives.
yeah. Or to help, you know, the wives, best friend give that
Sure.
gift during the baby showers. I think that's brilliant from just a distribution perspective. So, thanks.
It's great feedback. And then maybe like dad jokes too. With that. Sure. Sorry, it's too easy. Go ahead.
But you might counter that by, if you had a director of marketing offer to throw the baby shower, like do the event planning for them, take that off mom as well, and then kind of give it a boost and celebration, and then you can go for it.
Cool. Philip, go ahead.
Super quick. Thanks, Philip. I was thinking there's a lot of churches in Denver, and almost all of them have nurseries. So if we could sell them in bulk to the churches for gifts
Go ahead, Joseph.
So you presented this as a sponsorship deck or like your, how did you phrase what the pitch was gonna be?
Just getting feedback on specific challenges.
At the beginning, you didn't,
It's like an investor pitch. You mentioned.
Oh, I misspoke. So I meant to say it's not meant to be a.
okay. So
fundraising deck.
in that, it's kind of like a rally for sponsorship, or is this validation on the product?
This pitch is specifically getting feedback on our marketing approach.
Okay. So I didn't know which hat until the very end.
Oh,
In the
okay.
beginning, I thought.
Yeah, I must have misspoke in the meeting.
So in that case, on the marketing approach, you get direct, the hospitals, midwives, there's already a market for that. Getting in front of that instead of the shotgun approach is really good. You asked how to do that, go knock on doors. That's the best way. Go find one person that believes in this and test it out there. Not to be a second part to the question, but also at the very beginning, it sounded like you were addressing postpartum and postpartum possibly depression, but I didn't pick up any of that from the product, the concept, the e-commerce platform. So I would pick a lane, whether it's e-commerce and you're just happy creating products and sourcing for moms, or are you addressing a psychological issue of postpartum, and pick one of those things.
Cool. Thanks for feedback. Did you have? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sure the future marketing person will have a billion ideas, but I kind of like the grassroots approach, and there are, it's kind of like how do you get in front of people, but how do you get the mom engaged in this? And like, I think a lot of Facebook groups and just like platforms where people talk about this stuff and like people are open about this stuff and they want, they talk about the stigmatization of it and they're like, what are the solutions? They're asking questions and like maybe even just have feedback sessions or like, hey, we want to make the best product for you. Help us help you and that kind of stuff. It's not like easy to like see the results straight away. Potentially, this lady also mentioned events and stuff like that, like building trust, being in person, like especially now that we can do a little bit more, could be I think really nice for your brand, for the moms to be like, that's a really good point. That would put a lot of less pressure on myself. I don't have to like think about all these things. It's on this kid, etc. And also probably for you get feedback from your actual customers on what they want in boxes.
I think it's a great point about the Facebook groups. We've done a lot of just talking to customers, talking to moms who we know, and overall feedback on product and idea is great. But there's hurdles there, obviously, because this is stigmatized. A lot of people just don't know about it.
It's like a very, I can see like, oh, that's a very good idea, a very good product. There's a huge need for that. But yes, the stigma does make things more difficult in a way, but also it's good because it does spark conversation.
Creates opportunity.
So I think if you could have those conversations that you're talking about in front of a bigger audience, you might get more value out of it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Next time, I make sure I'll just invite all moms for you. Eric, go ahead.
My name's Brett.
All right, sorry.
I've sold physicians for 20 years, and it's not about the hospital, it's not about the physician, it's about the MA and the PA and the nurse. So you buy expensive lunches, and they get it and it grows from there. And I do think that's a good strategy. So many physicians talk about this with their patients. Great strategy because they're dealing with 30 people a day.
Right.
It's a vast network, but don't think about the physician, think about their team.
Okay.
Great feedback. Manon?
Yeah, just in conjunction with what Luna was saying, I think partnerships is going to be a huge play for you. And another way to do that too is kind of making a list of all of the apps or technology that people use for postpartum, and then you can use your product as a wholesale for them so that they're pushing your product for you. And so you're selling, you're still shipping it to them,
Great feedback. Go, Courtney. And then we'll go back.
So somebody mentioned it's a little bit of a downer, and I would say as a dad who's experienced this, most of the time I tell people you need to find the pain in order to sell the product really well. You just are in a beautiful market because the pain is already there. So I would kind of say jump into that and be like, postpartum fucking sucks. Can I get that from everybody?
Right.
We're gonna make it not suck as much, type of a thing. Because if you can identify a pain, then people want to buy your product. So most people that do products that are like, this is an awesome, water bottle or a really cool thing, they have to focus and find the pain that someone's going through. Yours is already very obvious. So people have said like taboo or all these other things. I disagree. I'm like, I think that's gonna be your market strength, is to walk in and be like, hey, I'm a dad, let's talk about this shit. Because this sucks. And if you're a dad and you market to dads, you're like, how do you help your woman? How do you make sure that she's happy? How do you make sure that this is as pleasant as possible? Like, let's not lie and say it's gonna be a breeze, but let's at least talk about this. And educating yourself on postpartum, sharing a story about how it impacted you, like, I would jump full into that pain, because the first 5 minutes gets everyone going, oh God. And then you're like, don't worry, I'm here. I got this. Everyone's going to be like, take my money, especially dads, because they're like, I do not want to deal with that.
That's a great point. I think early on we were hesitant to take that approach because, we're men and we're coming at we're approaching a woman's problem, and we're like, we don't have all the answers. But I think we've overcome that, and I think you're absolutely right. Like, hit on the pain, people understand that, people can identify with it.
Just freaking jump in there. Like, a woman doesn't necessarily always want another woman to be like, this is hard, isn't it, honey? Like, sometimes that's nice. They want a man to come in and go, babe, I got you. What do you need? I will go and spend thousands of dollars. I will get you everything. I will protect this home. Like, they need that energy. And so if you already have it, I'd go for it.
Cool. Thanks. Great feedback. Go ahead.
Someone else might have touched on this, but I think in terms of like business development, getting someone with a lot of credibility is like, you starting like a gynecologist as a consultant or retired gynecologist to do sales or business development, and using that credibility to tap into all the dimensions.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Just kind of going off of what was said, I picked up on is I think you really want to get in with hospitals and doulas and everything like that to do the introduction. But I would have some sort of packet or something inside the box where they can sign up for like a 3 to 6 month evaluation, and then have some sort of social media package on there to continue, or like a hashtag or something to continue talking about it to kind of break through the stigma. And I think the Facebook groups are going to be huge for you. So you can do them on Facebook groups to kind of break through, and you kind of want a situation where one person was so impressed with it that their hospital, their doula provided for them, you want everyone else to have provided for them.
Yeah.
Good feedback.
Really need a girl as the 7th guy to comment on it.
Yeah.
Cool. Kiefer? Go ahead.
So you've already got like 40 awesome marketing ideas. Throw another one in there.
Sure. Yeah, but always take one.
Yeah.
It's the best one.
Yeah.
So-
There's some good ones. But I thought it's really important to, I can say it's really a valuable place to be, is where you were looking, or where your audience was looking for these answers. Because you're saying you're searching for like, what do you do in this situation, and there wasn't really that information out there. That doesn't mean you need to be the the big education source, but partnering with these people, content creators on platforms where people are having babies, things like that, could be a really valuable source. Of course, that's something that your new marketing director can calculate out an ROI, which really comes down to. But
And there's a ton of those out there.
yeah,
Motivating content.
yes,
stuff.
yeah.
All right. We got time for like 1 or 2 more. Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
One thing that two people touched on, and make dad the hero, like straight up, because the pain is shared. And because especially as a dad, you're heartbroken, you can't help. I can give you something shiny, to distract you from it. I can connect you to with the person out of Denver and with Daddy as well.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah.
But one of the things where he was talking about maybe like some birth centers give out like a little basket for like first time visits or second-time visits, you have a smaller little sample box.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Pete, last question.
This isn't really a question, but a point. I think you're doing an awesome job of not mansplaining this and like owning that like you're a dude and you're not a woman, and like for the love of God, don't lose that, because I feel like that's something that like, you could really easily like step away and then like, yeah, you only need one person to be like, oh, I was mansplaining, I'm just and like, you know, one bad review and you're screwed. So just keep leaning into that.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that's been ever present for me.
I think you can summarize that point by saying just man up. Too early? Never too early. Okay. Love that idea. So summing up, I know you've said a lot, but if you want to do a quick summary of what as a community can we do for you?
Yeah, I mean, aside from this is awesome, great advice. This is what I was here for, just to bounce these ideas off you guys. So any intros, and you guys, like I said, we're kind of looking for advisors, especially in the healthcare area. And then lastly, just help a new mom out when you have one in life. Like that's what we're trying to solve is like this problem of this problem being overlooked. So everybody can kind of think about that and help someone out.
I have a new mom.
What's that?
What's your website?
Yeah, it's just numakits.com.
Okay.
NUMA. Yep.
It's also on our website, 1millioncups.com/Denver. It's all the presenter info is on there. So let's give Kevin a round of applause. We're going to move on to our next presenter, which is Clean Food Kitchen, farm to fast casual restaurant. It's a concept that has taken over a decade to develop in order to make it demographically expansive, fully sustainable, cost-effective, and eco-friendly. Let's give a big round of applause to Carrie. I need to get your slide deck. There it is. If you want to get more coffee, you can. Bathroom's down the hallway if you need to do that too. Where is... How do I get rid of that bar? We're just gonna go with. Anybody know how to remove this slide? This play. Oh, you want me to do? Okay, that's a good idea. Sweet. Okay, that worked. Awesome. Okay. All right, guys. Use the mic so we can all hear you.
Thank you.
All right. Carrie has the floor.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Kerry Duff, and as mentioned, what I'm here to promote is Clean Food Kitchen. So this is, I'll just not go into the presentation so much as say that this is my first time presenting this to a group and such there. So certainly feedback and so forth is what I'm looking for. I am at the investor stage, so if you want to put on your investor hat, at least as far as questions go along those lines, that's much appreciated along those lines. Something recently suggested to me that I hadn't considered and adds to my ask for today would be that throughout this process, I've had plenty of sort of mentoring and counseling along those lines and advice as far as that goes. One thing I'm really seeking currently at the investor stage is investors as far as mentoring side though, as much as financial sides along those lines. But you know, I'm really trying to find out what investors are looking for and what they need. I've gotten quite a bit of advice from entrepreneurs and such there, but haven't really gotten the advice from investors themselves and such there. So if you know investors or are one, as far as that goes, and have some advice or have some insight to, or, you know, the type of product I'm offering here, then that'd be great. Okay, so I'm not going to delve too far into the origins exactly of this along those lines, but what originally brought up the idea of Clean Food Kitchen, which, as mentioned, is it's a fast casual concept for food. It is it focuses on nutrition and eating clean food along those lines, so healthy, whatever words you like to use that don't make it sound too much like it's just granola and salad and such there. But the concept itself seems basic and such. Like I said, it's taken me over 12 years to really develop this because it's gone through many stages as far as that goes. So to get to this stage, and the reason why is because there were several criteria that I had in mind when I started this, and that is not only I have a nutrition background, I'm a health coach and nutritionist as far as that goes, but so those are obviously certain areas that I'm strong in and wanted to provide that. Part of it goes back to when my children first came about, that I really started really focusing on it and became my really my obsession as far as that goes for what I wanted to get involved in and do. And I find that most people are looking for an alternative out there to food that's, you know, easy to access and quick and so forth along those lines. Affordable, of course, is important along those lines, and but yet still healthy. I think honestly, in the last couple of years, it's really been emphasized even for myself. It's very hard to have access to good, clean food unless you're going to go buy it at the store, bring it home, cook it. When you're talking about 3 meals a day and so forth along those lines, it gets very daunting. Even for someone as dedicated as me to it, I find it very difficult to stay on any kind of schedule on those lines, and most people, I think, are in the same boat. So the concept that Clean Food Kitchen is, here I can advance forward here now. Oops. Go. Okay. There we go. So once again, so I'll just touch on the concept essentially. So it's essentially a soup salad sandwich concept. It does have a breakfast menu as well, which consists mainly of oatmeal, breakfast burritos, and omelets. And that's to say that that's the basic idea. Because there are many different levels and layers to each side of that. This being a farm to table, the concept actually grows from and has come to where, in order to keep it affordable, a long time ago, I had to ask myself, you know, why are these options not there? Well, the answers I came up with is if you go by conventional thinking, and if you go by conventional ways that, you know, models that are out there for this type of food, whether it's fast casual or fast food even, it doesn't work as far as that goes. So that's the first problem I had to resolve, or the main problem I had to resolve was how does it work? So what Clean Food Kitchen has is, in order to keep it, first of all, and I won't go too much into detail, but to keep it affordable, we needed to produce the food that was coming to the restaurant, is what it came down to. This sounds simple. Took me years and years to come up with that, but and how to do that as far as that goes. So this is a farm to table. It would be our farm to our table, with all of you invited to the table, for you know, easy access to these types of foods. So you know, obviously, you know, I'm going to leave it out there that obviously all the food would be organically grown and so forth along those lines, hence Clean Food Kitchen. The differences and such, of course, between the fast casual that you would find now and ours is you're going to have some differences that in menu and so forth along those lines, and how the product changes, and it's seasonal as far as that goes. Since we're talking about local fresh foods and so forth along those lines, there's not a lot of seasonality to it. The menu has been specifically designed to be versatile to work with that, as far as that goes. So the main things the obstacles that needed to be fulfilled here were nutrition. And I found ways, and
I'm going to provide samples in that box. There's some samples. You can all take home some chili today, or take for lunch and so forth along those lines. But you're going to find in that chili that most chilies have about 5 ingredients as far as that goes, taking away this, not including water and seasonings. You'll find, well, you won't find, but I challenge anyone to tell me what the 15 ingredients are that are in the chili that you'd have today, and to see if it compares with any chili you've had before as far as that goes. So I love feedback on that. I'll provide anybody the website and so forth, my email as far as that goes and such, so you can give me feedback on that. I'd love to see if anybody can identify all 15. That'd be great. Once again, not including water and seasonings. So the other thing are, of course, flavor is important. The reason why I became a soup salad sandwich thing is when I experimented with friends of mine who absolutely do not eat vegetables and such there, and do not eat healthy and despise anything healthy as far as that goes, because most people's stigmatism on healthy is bland, boring, those types of things. So what I found was that in the soup specifically, that by the use of proper use of seasonings and so forth along the lines, the little secret is that all soups can taste good. The problem most people have with vegetables and healthy food and so forth is that individually and by themselves, they are not appealing. But when you season them properly, and you slow cook them properly, and there are some other tricks to it along those lines, but I have been able to get my friends who do not eat healthy and along those lines to eat it, enjoy it, and be happy with it along those lines. So that's part of what we have going on there. So flavors was certainly important. Convenience, that's why it's been set up as a fast casual. I've dabbled with trying to do drive-through. It doesn't work in the concept really, but fast casual, I can get it to that part.
Hey, Carrie.
Yes.
I'm going to give you 30 more seconds.
Oh, sorry.
We're kind of running late. So
Right,
30 more seconds, and then we're going to open up for feedback and dialogue. So
okay,
kind
so
of just
I'll just really just
wrap
hit on
up.
what the focus of the business was. And that, so we got nutrition, value, affordability. I can get into the financial things, but it's scale-wise the same or better than fast food and fast casual out there in food costs and such. Convenience I mentioned, transparency. I plan on having full transparency. Anyone who wants to know, or I'm going to provide actually what the ingredients are and everything, what those ingredients are beneficial to health-wise and so forth. Sustainability is the other big one, especially with the farm setup and the way we have it along those lines. And I'd have to go another 10 minutes if I wanted to really explain the farm. It's taking concepts that are already proven concepts, combining them into a system that is actually super efficient and really nature system of things. Doesn't have any additional farm fertilizers, technology, or even mechanics as far as that goes. So it emphasizes strongly on soil generation, composting, zero waste. So fits all of those categories, which was something that was imperative to it.
So let's pause there
education.
and let's open it up
That's
to feedback. But before we do that, let's give Carrie a round of applause. I know this was your first time presenting, so you did an awesome job doing it. It's never
How long
easy.
did I go?
Don't worry about it.
That's my biggest problem.
Not a big deal.
To
I know you had a
talk about.
lot of information, and presenting is an art, and practice it and refine it and shorten it. So
yes,
kudos for you to coming up here and doing it for the first time. I'm going to challenge you right now to kind of summarize what are some like couple asks you want initially from the audience. Is it the idea,
well,
the problem you're solving? Like what would you like from us initially, or we can just give you all feedback?
Yeah, if I didn't put enough information out there to describe what problem I'm trying to solve, essentially. Also, what areas are more important? The farming system, how does it go from one to the other? Financials. I mean, I have trouble narrowing it down to a small speech and giving really hitting those areas and giving everybody the answers they want as far as that goes.
Okay, I'll handle the Q&A.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, you go first. Go ahead and stand up and say your name.
Hey, my name's Luke. So, one thing that I'd love to see in a presentation like this is what traction you have today with your team. Right? Like, are you guys still in the concept phase? Do you guys like get a location? Like, what's going on?
So I have a team of consultants essentially and a partner along those lines that really are on like I have a farm consultant and so forth, and I've also been thoroughly around the state and so forth, speaking with farmers along those lines to make sure, because I am not a farmer myself per se, although I lived on one years back along those lines. So when I developed the concept and so forth there, and it's not, like I said, none of this is anything I've invented, but I've taken like so the farm involves crop rotation, but it also involves livestock rotation, but it works them together in harmony, which is a little different than anybody else generally does. So I'm sorry, but I don't have sales yet. I have worked the concept. I'm a chef on the weekends for a place called Althea Center. It's in downtown Denver, pretty much, or just outside of downtown Denver on the Capitol Hillside, where I have tried out all these things on, gotten to use them as my guinea pigs, kind of a back and forth that we have there. I serve between 70 and 120 people there on Sundays and so forth. It has depleted a lot during COVID, but and I have, yeah.
The amount of people that you serve this to, the people that you've got to would be great inclusion.
Would be what?
That would be great to include the amount of people you serve this to and you test the concept with. Any data behind that would kind of go on.
Okay. Anybody new? Okay, go ahead, Pete.
So one of the things that I really like in the presentation is when there's kind of follows a storyline and there's like a nice arc. I feel like in this, there was a lot of really nitty gritty detail, but then I didn't even know just like until halfway through that this was a physical restaurant, not just like something to go or something like that. So I would just encourage you, there's tons of stuff online about like, how to tell a story or pitch and look into that because I think that would help really refine this down and make it more compelling.
Yeah, your talk a couple
or watch my TED talk. It's
it actually changed my thoughts, and I went to more of a story thing, but I didn't hit it obviously very well. But yeah,
yeah,
I need a lot of practice.
Awesome. Jeff.
Obviously, it's your first time. Keep practicing. Before I get my 2 cents, how much you trying to raise?
How would I what?
How much you trying to raise?
How much trying to raise? That's another thing. The concept can be run at there's a few different scales to do it. To do the full on the way I really foresee it being done fully. As far as that goes, 600,000.
Okay, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So think about pitch decks. Just some real highlights. You are telling a story. Everyone always thinks like, let's start talking about us, really confident technician founders like you are, because you're in the weeds, you're trying to make this stuff and make it good. Let's start off with your clients. So typically it's who we are, what we do, real quick, make it 2 seconds. Then we'll start off with, here's the problem we're trying to solve. Here's the people who have this problem. So you're talking about your clients. Then switch to, here's how many of them there are. They're called TAM, SAM, SOM. You're going to hear that as you get provision.
What was that again?
TAM, SAM, SOM. We can talk about it.
TAM, SAM.
But basically, it's how many of these people are there? Because investors are going to hear that. Who's it for? How many of them are there? That tells them how many got. Traction is going to be another piece of that. What have we done so far to serve those people? So it's mostly about the people you're serving, and there's some other tips. So problem, solution, the market, that's the TAM, SAM, SOM stuff. The business model, how do you actually make money? Physical restaurant, people who are for margins, that sort of thing. Why is now the right time, the opportunity? So basically, why should I invest in this now?
Okay.
Why is now the right time? Who are your competitors? Market, other things like that. Talk about why you're different, why you're better. That's really why I should invest in you, not them.
Okay.
And then the team, like somebody mentioned that. And then the milestones. What do you want to do going forward with the money I'm about to give you? What's the next big thing? I give you 50K, what do you do with that?
Okay. Oh, great feedback.
Thank you.
Courtney. Okay.
For structuring purposes, think about when you go to book a flight, right? First you decide, I'm gonna fly, not walk. That's your first decision. So if someone's like, I'm gonna eat healthy, right? Ultimately, you're going to fly from destination to destination. So you gotta know where you're going, and that's how you can structure it. Like, we're gonna save the whole health of the world. That's where we're going. You know, like we're gonna solve obesity. Some big statement that's like, this is what we're doing. Then you start talking about what time you're gonna leave, then you can talk about the flight and like the actual aircraft you'll be on. You can always dive deeper. But before you can dive deeper, then you can dive down into each step. And then the other thing is, especially in investor decks, you need very little information about where you've been and a lot more information on where you're going. You need like concrete examples, like, you know, evidence of where we've been and we know what we're doing. But that doesn't have to be 6 years ago on January. So just keeping everything moving forward, because that's what investors do, is help you go to that destination. So get really clear on it and then focus on it in your presentation.
Cool. Great feedback. We got time for like one or two more. All right, Kiefer, go ahead.
Thanks. I think we've got some really great feedback so far. The one thing that I would say is on the deck itself, it seems like you're a very detail-oriented person and you have these ideas already written out. So like on the problem, you know, you have, like, these are the 4 problems that are out there, right? Just throw like an icon on each problem. Don't put words on there, and then give yourself X amount of seconds to talk about each one, and then you can practice that, right?
It's actually what I tried to do, but I didn't even click through many things. I had like only like 5, 6 slides to keep me on track, and it didn't work.
Break it down a little more, right? Like, give yourself, instead of words, give those like 4 symbols. Next, here's our solution. 3 symbols. Next, this is why we're unique, right? Here are our competitors. You have 2 icons. We can talk about those for 15 seconds apiece. Next, right? So then that way you can really like get as granular as you need to be within a time allotment and to keep you on track with what you're talking about.
All right. Final question goes to Dylan.
Dylan, I know we talked about this last week, you know, and just in like answering this question on how much money you want, it took a lot longer to just say 600,000, you know, that we talked about this last week. Be brief, be bright, be gone. I need to embody that in everything I do, and I'm horrible at it. But also one of the things that I've seen a lot with a lot of startups in the food industry, they start small. They don't go to straight brick and mortar because, you know, I have a friend who started before he got his food truck, he started connected with Walmart, and he was doing food tables because he was making direct good food right out there and starting there, getting customer feedback to then refine his menu, then to the truck, and then he got in one of the food halls, you know, rather than his own self brick and mortar spot. But the people who feed right economic, be awesome.
There is a plan for that. That's why I kind of hesitated, because there is a lower shelving start that could start something more, you know, more of the out of the garage sort of thing. It is too. But
go high. Shot
yeah.
with the price, always give it less.
You know, if you
Very
ask
good.
for 300,000, they'll be like, okay, cool, I'll give you 100. You ask for 900,000, they're like, okay, cool.
It's kind
Okay.
of like if you're in
Yeah.
a marriage or a girl asks you like, hey, do you want to have kids? And you're like, you want to be able to be like, yes, no, I haven't decided. Like, whatever. You don't want to scare them off with,
And if you do want to have kids,
very important.
segue. All right. Last question I have for you, briefly. What as a community can we do for you?
Well, any connections to, like I said, mentoring and investment side, not even necessarily the money side, but the mentoring, really get it zeroed in on, because like I said, as you can tell, there's a lot of information, and bringing down the bullet points and getting it to what investors really want to know and see and hear would help. Obviously, as entrepreneurs, many of you have investments already, so you have good feedback, and that's great. Outside of that, really, the feedback I've gotten here is quite beneficial. So
Awesome.
I do have a pitch deck, but like I said, I'm not just a sample, so if you want to take it for lunch there along those lines, you're welcome to it.
Chili samples?
It is chili, yes.
Cool.
I decided on chili because it's one thing that people can't understand how you can make it healthy. I'm quite surprised there with that.
Okay. Let's give Carrie a round of applause. Great job. Okay, now we're going to move on to community announcements. Any events going on this week, next week, going to hosting you want to share?
Tonight, so Joseph is not here right now. We're putting on a separate event called Really Cups, where the dive deeper into pitches that were this morning, and over 3 years, it's a very informal 7 p.m. with us.
By the way, I'll be writing them down. able to see all community aspects of it.
Which of those? This one's like one of the rhino. The rhino. Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
Right across the street from there.
Okay. Any other announcements? I know. I can get there. You have one?
It is not a particular event announcement, but I am starting a business, everything about dogs, and I have a dog meetup and we meet up all the time. So if anybody has a dog wants to meet up now or be with other people and other dogs, talk to me and I'll point you towards my Facebook group.
Cool. Do you want to present on it?
I will.
Cool.
I'm like observing.
You don't have to be perfect up here.
I know. I'll register.
Yes, I'll take it. Okay.
But yeah, I just thought I would put it out there.
Cool.
I usually do meetups every week, but then we have like, I started in December, this group, we have about 600 members and people, you know, it's a Facebook group, so people just.
What's the title of it?
Denver Dog.
Cool.
Denver Dog.
Okay. I have an event to share. Tomorrow, Denver Founders, get excited. It's happening again. If you haven't been to it, it's a networking meetup. We have free beer, snacks, where you can meet other founders, share experiences, resources, get to know each other. We'll be on the Commons in Champa, 6 to 8 p.m. It's on Meetup. If you want to sign up for it, there's a QR code. But we'd love to have you there. I'm hosting it along with Courtney. We also have 2 other people. It's going to be great. Did I sound excited? Was that good?
No, it's so much better. But you missed, how many beers do we have?
How many beers?
Yeah.
A lot.
300.
300. Yeah.
So that's how many people we are expecting.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna get string cheese. So
It's on the list for some reason.
these beers are free. They have been donated by the community.
Yeah.
Are you coming to drink them?
Monthly. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
It's gonna be monthly, but also adjusting to what the group wants. But we're gonna try and do monthly, and also depending on money too. It's a big factor. Cool. With that, no other announcements. Just quickly, please invite friends, coworkers. Word of mouth is how we grow. If you know anybody that has an idea that they're trying to get validation on, tell them to come and present. We're always looking for more presenters. Send them to our website, 1millioncups.com/Denver. Follow us on social media. Just quick reminder, you guys are awesome. Today was awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I thought this was a great event. Full house, great energy. Really appreciate you guys coming out. Have an awesome week. So I have a really good joke. A boy is shoving candy into his face when his mom yells at him to stop. Don't eat so much candy all at once. That's not a joke yet. Why? Why, the boy replied. If you eat too much candy, your stomach will get bigger and bigger, and it will eventually explode. The boy is shocked by this image and immediately stops eating candy. The next day, the boy and the mom go to church together, and the boy sits down next to a very visibly pregnant woman. The boy looks at her stomach, then looks at her face and says, I know what you've been doing. I thought that was relatable to our first presenter. Maybe.
Dad wasn't even in that joke.
So that's it for today. We'll be here again next week. You guys can hang out for a good half hour or so, mingle. If you want to hang out for the whole day and co-work, just go upstairs to the front desk and check in. But round of applause for everybody coming out today.
Yeah.
I come in here all the time, it's like, it's not the easiest. Yeah. I know, yeah, like, last time I had it. I know.